Hey everybody, it is the day before Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to reach out and say thanks to everybody for all the well wishes, all the prayers through Facebook, through texts, through calls, through emails. I want to just apologize for not being able to respond to everybody. It's been a tough 2 weeks. On November 3rd, I came down, which was election night. Came down with a fairly high fever and decided to go into one of the clinics and get a COVID test. Just first thing that came to my mind was COVID-19, and sat in the parking lot, waited for the swab, which is really fun to get the swab put up your nose. Feels like it touches the back of your brain. And 2 days later, it came back negative. Did it again that same day by recommendations from my doctor. And 2 days later, it came back negative again. But for 7 days, starting on Tuesday, I had headaches, I had body fatigue, super sleepy, temperature, constant temperature. All I did was take Tylenol every 6 hours and Advil in between, and went through the chills. I'd wake up in the middle of the night sweating. It was like the flu, but it just would never go away. It was 7 days of misery. On the seventh day, and this is after being in quarantine. As soon as these symptoms hit, I just went to the back bedroom, was in quarantine. My lovely wife and kids would bring food and place it by the door. I had no appetite. Literally lost almost 20 pounds throughout this whole COVID-19 episode, and it's about the only good thing that came from it. But on the seventh day, decided to. My wife said, "Let's go to the hospital. This is pretty much enough of this." And they went through all the blood tests. Took them almost 9 times to really catch a vein. I was so dehydrated. They redid the COVID test. I guess they have a different test in the hospital. Within an hour, it came back positive. So 2 negative tests, and then finally to the hospital, it comes back positive. Go figure. Was admitted that night. Went through about 6 bags of IVs, saline, and which was great because it definitely made me feel a little bit better just for the hydration. Had a little bit more of an appetite after I was hydrated, but still not much of an appetite. Ended up staying in the hospital for 3 days and was released with still having a fever. I guess one of the criteria to stay in the hospital is to really have issues with oxygen, which I never really had shortness of breath. My taste, my smell was always there. Never lost that. And like I said, my oxygen levels were pretty good. So I guess they tend to keep people who start to have real issues with oxygen and have to go on ventilators and the really bad stuff. Probably the scariest part of this whole episode, though, is when the doctor comes and they talk to you in the emergency room about your directives, about do you want to be resuscitated, do you want to be put on ventilators, all those things that quite honestly, when you're after 7 days of complete almost migraines and fever, I mean, it's not something you really want to be talking about. It scares you. So thank God I was released 3 days later. Like I said, I still had a fever, not nearly as bad. I came into the hospital, I believe it was 103 degree temperature, and left with maybe 100 degrees. Came back, went straight back into quarantine, and I want to say it was around the 13th day the fever finally broke. I woke up, no fever, headaches were minimal. and I had pneumonia as well. Failed to mention that, and that's what they found out in the hospital. I had pneumonia, so I was on antibiotics for that. So, like I said, it's a day before Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. Take this seriously, and the whole social distancing, wearing a mask is real. Believe me, you do not want to get this. I know a lot of people are going to be getting together for Thanksgiving, so hopefully somebody might see this and be just a little extra cautious over the family gathering, and maybe it will save a life. Who knows? But I'm wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm giving thanks to be here and to be feeling 100% better than I did 2 weeks ago. And once again, thanks for all the wishes, the prayers, and for everyone who stopped by and dropped off food for the family. It's been an eye-opener, and you really find out who your friends are, and the people that truly care about you and your family. So thank you, and once again, have a happy Thanksgiving.